Did you see Flannel's reaction?
Oh man, play it
Do
again.
we have to do that again?
Play it again.
Yes, I do need
DJ,
to
play
see
it
this.
again.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I do need to see this.
All right.
Are y'all ready for the pick?
Yeah.
Ron Holland. Oh, DB.
What are you doing?
Number 10 on my big board.
God,
Ron Holland.
damn it, bro.
Listen.
Do we have to do this again? Hey, and as I said before, in my defense, did you not hear Easy and Joel losing their minds as well?
We was all losing our minds.
Thank you.
Yours stuck out. Yours stuck out.
Focus.
So
No, I was worse.
You and Joel's reaction were MVP reactions.
yeah, no, Joe had me in tears, bro.
Man, should have fixated the camera on him.
Nah,
I don't even think he was on camera.
he
He's an
wasn't.
intern. He doesn't get camera fixation.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. Lot to unpack here today.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Get in there. And, yeah, so that's it. Oh, people talk. Hey, you left your helmet over here, by the
Oh,
way.
shoot.
Yeah.
I didn't even. Who did that? I didn't
Hey,
know who
there
did
you
that.
go.
I did.
Hey,
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Well,
that's
thanks.
hey.
Matches the shirt.
That's hey.
That's true.
A bunch of
It
trash.
does, for the record, it does make a lot more sense on my side than yours.
Yes, it does. Vincent E. Flannel never disappoints. No, he constantly disappoints.
Thank you.
Yes. So, DNCENT FFFF over a consensus top 5 prospect. All right, let's get into it then.
Yeah.
KG, you asked, I'll answer. And for me, what did I say when we were talking, pre-draft yesterday? I said I've kind of moved to this. I'm more about the philosophy
Yeah.
than I am about a player. So you're never going to see me act like Flannel Sam over a player. I'm more concerned about the philosophy. So there's a couple of parts here. Number one, KG says, Neil, what did you think about the pick? Here's what I think about the pick. I like it from 30,000 feet, and here's why.
Okay.
There is no debate. In my mind, this is just me talking. I haven't talked to anybody down there. I haven't been down there. There is no debate in my mind. I'm talking Neil the Pistons fan right now.
Okay.
That Trajan Langdon is the guy.
Yeah.
This was a Trajan Langdon pick.
I'm
Make
with you
no mistake about that.
That's fair.
I'm with you there.
Okay?
I'm with you there.
We're in accordance with that.
Yep.
And that was up for debate, according to some people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, come on. I wasn't the only one.
That's a hard head now.
I
Neil.
wasn't the only one. Come on now. Come on.
You ain't got the shakes, do you?
Tone without the voice. That's tough.
No, but Flannel, we're together on that, right?
Yes. And when he was hired, Trajan Langdon, for the record, I think the next day on this show was more positive about him than anybody in this room. I waxed poetic about what was done in New Orleans with him as GM. I did. So that was always my hope that Trajan Langdon would get control. And if this was his pick, who knows how it will turn out. It wasn't what I wanted. And I understand I'm not the GM, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
you made that abundantly clear.
I did.
Abundantly clear.
Yes.
Okay. So from that standpoint, I liked it. Trajan's a guy, man.
Yeah.
He's smooth in a press conference.
He
too.
is, man. It seemed honest. It seemed genuine. And he's sticking by his convictions.
100%. That's the book on him. He has always shaded towards, if you look at the Pelicans, where he came from, what do they have?
Two-way players.
Guys that can do a little bit of everything. All right. That's how they operate. So in that standpoint, I like it. There is no, outside of three-point shooting, there is no black hole in his game.
Yeah, but what is
three-point shooting is a
Well-
big black hole.
I mean,
what is this team's biggest issue?
sure. Okay. Which I'm going to get there on that. Then I'll ask you this. Then what was the play? What was the pick?
Cody Williams or Dalton Connect?
Half the league passed on Dalton Connect. This
Okay.
Dalton Connect to the Hall of Fame thing needs to stop with you,
The
man.
fact that he was picked at 17
Half
is
the league passed on him.
not Dalton Connect to the Hall of Fame.
Uh-oh.
That was I would say, a
mood
steal.
has
And like I
changed.
said, I gave you another option. I gave you Cody Williams, who in my opinion, and I'm not going to talk about him too much more because he's not ours. And I'm going to have to embrace Ron Holland eventually. But Cody Williams, I think, was a more efficient scorer. He, like Ron Holland, was a low-volume three-point shooter, but Cody Williams actually made his. He has like a size similar to Ron Holland, not quite the girth. I'd say defensively they're pretty comparable, and athletically they're pretty comparable.
But
It's just the three-point shot.
okay, and here's the differences. And I'll say this.
Okay.
Here's the difference. Here's what I do like about Ron Holland. And I think Detroit will like Ron Holland a lot. He has the potential to be one of those guys in this town. Because what he has that Cody Williams doesn't, he's a dog. He's a dog. Look at because it doesn't fit your narrative,
No,
right, Flannel? So go ahead. Discuss.
I like things that I can, quantify.
Okay.
Like saying that someone's
Like
a dog.
like loose ball stats and things like that.
Those are good.
Effort.
Those are good. I'll give you that. Ron Holland does a lot of things
This town has a chance to love this guy.
My problem is that with what the Pistons have done, I'm just going to boil it all down to this. And maybe I'm being simplistic, but I don't think you can blame me for this. What the Pistons have done with how bad they've been, with how their draft picks have turned out, at least early on, and in the case of one of them, he's already gone, they've kind of turned me into a little bit of a single-issue style voter. Like, if you can't shooting threes is what gets you into the club.
So then you had 2 picks that were available to you, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was it.
Dalton Connect, Cody Williams.
Weaknesses be damned.
Weaknesses be damned.
All you cared about was a 3-point percentage. That was it.
Guys, 3-point percentage is big on this team. I'm looking at, and especially when you have Cade Cunningham as your point guard, I'm looking at potential lineup combinations and being like, who are you going to play with who? And I understand that the offseason is far from over, but that was what bothered me so much about the whole Cade Cunningham narrative last year, is because he didn't have any shooting really around him. I mean, at the beginning of the year when Bojan was hurt, you were starting Cade, Killian Hayes, and Asar Thompson, and Jalen Duren. I want 3-point shooting. I want spacing. I think that would most maximize Cade personally. And I think that if this turns out to where they shoot threes poorly again, and they don't win, but Cade puts up big numbers, some people are going to blame Cade for that. Where I would have thought they need to put him in a better situation, like they didn't last year. That's where my hang-up is.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Tony D. Too much yelling later. Bye, Tony D. See ya.
Yelling that bad. What is he talking about?
Right, he ain't even got badge.
Yeah.
Okay. Later.
This is just a sample.
But anyway, though. Okay, so you come at it from that perspective. You were obsessed with a 3-point percentage number.
Yes, I was.
So in your world, there were only legitimately 2 guys that could have been the pick anyway.
Well, they were available. That's my point. They were both available. It's
Okay.
not like I was opining after Zachary Richashe or something like that. He was never available. It's not like I was opining after Keegan Murray instead of Jaden Ivey. I wanted Keegan Murray, but he was not available. Dalton Connect and Cody Williams were. And we're going to see. I understand that. We're going to see how it all plays out, but in the immediate aftermath, and even when I've had a chance to think about it, I would have preferred those 2. Even though Ron Holland does some things well. He does a lot of things well. I understand that, but so did a lot of the other poorly 3-point shooting picks that the Pistons have picked recently. Killian Hayes, not last year, but the year before, led the team in assists and steals. He still is not a valuable player. Last season, Asar Thompson led the team in steals and blocks, but he was a 19% 3-point shooter. Jaden Ivey was 6th in Rookie of the Year voting. He has some value, but although he's not as bad of a shooter as those guys, he's not up to par as to what we want, and I don't think he fits well with Cade. And Jalen Duren, walking double-double, we know that, but doesn't shoot threes at all. So I'm a little bit skeptical even over what Ron Holland does well if he can't improve his 3-point shot.
Well, you know what's funny about that, Flannel, is
Yes.
I guess, KG, that Flannel's not a big Anthony Edwards guy.
No.
I guess he's not.
That's a good
and I was
comparison.
actually kind of stalling for Spenny to get back in the booth because
Yeah.
he's our Anthony Edwards insider.
Yeah. But
If
no,
you
that's
know what I mean.
That's a good comparison, though. He came in with just
Pause.
defense. He came in with just defense.
The 29% 3-point shooter he was in college.
Yeah.
In college. So how do you feel about that, Spenny? That Sam Flannel thinks that Anthony Edwards is a fraud and will never be good in the NBA.
How dare you, Flannel? No, it's. I mean, I also wanted Cody Williams. I did not have the same reaction that many did here. I will say it wasn't just Flannel. I will say it was many people had the reaction in the show last night. Neil, you weren't here, but I was at the gym while it was going, and it was perfect timing. Right as soon as I got, I did my 45 on the treadmill, got off. Pistons are on the board. I was like, perfect. I'll do this before I go hit the weights. I was waiting there. I watched it. I got excited for a second because it wasn't Matas. And then I saw it was Ron Holland. And I was like, all right. It's not the worst thing, but like this kid was the number one prospect in his class for a reason. It is a very Trajan Langdon pick. Do I love the shooting splits? Not even a little bit. But Fred Vincent's here for a reason. I would have preferred
Which was Trajan Langdon's words last night.
Which was Trajan Langdon's words last night. I would prefer him to, I don't know, have someone he doesn't have to start from scratch with and at least give him a little buffer, but he's going to earn his paycheck. So we'll see. And again, I think that move means they're not done. I think they're going to shake up that core even more.
And we'll get there coming up in just a little bit. Because we're going to go, it was the draft, dude.
And I do have a full breakdown of his shot percentage. So it's 24% from three, 27.3 on open catch and shoots, 29.7 on contested catch and shoots.
See, like
14%
just right there,
off the dribble.
Right there, Spenny. There can be something to, like, it's not like it's 17. It's not like it's a Sword Thompson or something. Like, it's not, there could be something there.
You can unlock it.
There could be.
Maybe.
There could be.
But Asar Thompson had a better three-point percentage in overtime elite than Ron Holland did in the G League.
He did.
That's facts.
Yeah.
And Asar Thompson, even in the G League playoffs, which I kind of fell for a little bit, actually shot the three pretty well. We saw what happened when he went to the NBA. It was a disaster. Not saying Ron Holland can never develop a three-point shot. I wanted someone that was kind of already ready-made with that.
Yeah.
Just because I want players that can fit well with Cade, because that is my underlying thing as well. I don't just want the Pistons to be successful. I want the Pistons to be successful and for Cade to become a star.
Yeah, do you think it's a situation where maybe Trajan just didn't trust the three-point ability of these young guys and he wanted more established shooters, kind of, whatever I'm paying for or trading for, I know what I'm getting, as opposed to taking a chance on a young kid? Because his three-point percentage is pretty down there, and like I said before, it might be 2 to 3 years before we really see the results if Fred Vincent actually works out.
And KG, that's gonna be a point I was gonna make later on. This dude is 18.
Yeah,
18.
He's a kid
now,
but you took him. So knowing
now he's here. Knowing
how young your team is.
No, I just think it is very simply that's the way Trajan Langdon rolls with his picks.
Yeah,
and we've seen it work, and we saw it work in New Orleans. They went from, the doldrums to a team that won a series in the playoffs. They got into the playoffs. And look, I don't want to be that. I want to be like, everybody calm down.
Yeah.
But you can't I want to eat a meal.
You can't blame fans for the getting tired of the wait and see approach at this point.
But that's what the NBA draft is.
I get it, but we just talking about the Pistons, we don't have the track record of really developing guys correctly. So I can't blame a Pistons fan for scratching their head at this pick. I can't. I want to be optimistic.
What was the move where you're not going to scratch your head?
Cody Williams, Dalton Connect. I've said it for the millionth time.
Half the league passed on Dalton Connect. That's not just a Pistons thing.
Okay, fine. And we're going to see. You didn't want Dalton Connect. I did. You're more okay with Ron Holland than I am. Those are both, I would say, valid opinions, but we're going to see how it all plays out. You have your reasoning. I have mine.
And my reasoning is half the league passed on the guy.
Okay, fine.
That's it. And the Cody Williams thing, I don't think he fit a profile that Ron Holland fits. And I'm talking about how does he play? Yeah. Does he float around?
Yeah.
Is he just a guy that's on the floor at times? Which he was. If we're being fair, you got to give me that. He was in games and he floated around a lot. Was he the first option there?
No.
Was he the second option there?
He was off the bench. I understand.
Was he the third option there?
I would say he was like right about there. But these dog or not a dog mentality narratives lead you to believe.
No, it's verified.
No, you can't verify dog. You can't verify dog.
Look at Luke's ball stats. Though It's there.
That's
Flan.
a good point. That one's a good point. I'll give you that. Loose ball
That's
stats.
a want-to proposition.
Fair enough. I'll give you that point. That was a good point.
He wants to. I'll start with that. When you are at the bottom, give me somebody that gives a shit.
I'll tell you right now, being optimistic on this, Ron Holland and Oscar Thompson will be one of the best wing defensive tandems in the in the NBA from day one.
Yeah.
Like those two guys can defend their asses off.
Yeah.
And
Now,
the
hold
jump
on.
shots
I will
need
say
to get
this.
there for them to play together, for sure.
I will say this, and this comes, our guy Bryce from the Pistons Pulse podcast. That's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Bryce.
Yeah, shout out to Bryce. We got to work to get him on. He said that Holland gets a little more credit for staying in front of guys than the film does. Give him
Okay.
credit. So I will say that. That's a tough way to go. What'd you have, KG, before we cut to the break?
No, and I just wanted to ask this question. So we heard Trajan at the presser after, and he said that, the deals kind of dried up as the draft happened. They were fielding deals before.
Perfect.
They were fielding deals the day of, and when the draft happened, they needed to be prepared to take a pick.
And perfect, KG, because that's a perfect segue. Because I heard Spenny ask, because I want to do a 30,000 foot of the draft.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about this. Like the people that pounded the table about Ron Holland. I want to know what the move was then.
Yeah.
A million times.
Because there was no moves. And I have a concrete example, and we'll talk about it next. Iraq in the chat. Big D is not for sensitive ones. Not
It's
today,
not.
because we're drawing lines in the sand.